Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. Now, today's episode, we are getting started with some building. I'm really looking forward to getting some building done. If you've seen the last few episodes, you'll know that we've been working on a sheep farm. Down at the bottom there, we are all done with that for now. I mean, the rest is just decoration and adding on to that, but that's not going to be done for some time. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to quickly put a beacon on here, like that, and we're also going to get the beacon. I don't want to get haste because we're going to be building, but I mean, that's not really too useful for us. The jump boost may be useful actually, and the speed, but I think the speed will be the most useful thing to have on this beacon for now. So we're going to be moving at some speed already. Look at that. That's crazy. Now, I just want to show you what happens, because if you remember correctly, we have these cool paths, which we came up with a few episodes ago. So let's have a look here. You can see we've got the compressed ice underneath there, which is damn awesome. Makes us run fast at the best of times. So what we're going to do is we're going to run here and we're going to see just how fast we are with this compressed ice. So let's run here. Going alright, going fast enough. You can see when we start jumping, we hit the compressed ice, we are moving now. So, oh, wait, come on. Where's the beacon? Why did that switch off? That's interesting. I think we might be missing a piece there. That doesn't look like it's got nearly enough range. But yeah, then we go down here. You can see we definitely go a bit slower. That beacon is awesome. It means we'll be able to get around really fast. So it is speed 2. Very interesting. Now, what we are doing today is we are going to get started on our first building in this area here. And I'm not too sure because I want to make a corner building over here and also perhaps over here. So I'm still thinking about it. We still got to work on that. I've got a few ideas for fixing up this design, but I'm going to leave that for now. It's not really something I'm going to concern myself with at the moment. But what I was saying is we're going to have ourselves this corner thing here, and I'm not too sure if we'll do it here today or there today. Let me make up my mind right now. It's going here. Perfect. That was done. Very simple. Very easy to make my mind up there. So that's not going to get in the way of anything. So we can maybe do a little thing over here. And we also are going to go in where did we put that? That was one away from there. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're just going to match this up, and I want this to be a corner shop. So we're going to have a entrance here somewhere. Maybe we can do something like that and make a little entrance in the middle here. That could be something we could do. And what this shop is going to be is I haven't really decided. So perhaps what we can do is maybe make this. I wanted to make a butcher, but I don't know. I don't know if we can actually do a butcher here. So what I'm thinking is doing a few, well, eventually putting villagers in here and doing a few with what the villagers would actually sell. So, for instance, we've got guys like butchers, we got ourselves guys like, what else are there? There's blacksmiths, there's, what the other guys, weaponsmiths, I think they are. They call themselves. So, I think that's going to be really awesome to kind of get those guys their own shop in here. So, that's what I'm planning on doing. And what we're going to do here is I think we'll maybe put a Fletcher, or I'm pretty sure they're called Fletchers. The guys that do the bows and stuff, I'm pretty sure they are called Fletchers here. They're normally called Fletchers, unless I'm going crazy that Minecraft doesn't call them Fletchers, but they are Fletchers. So that's the idea for today, and I'm just busy marking out what is going on here. And I've actually been asked if I can do some, give some advice on building and stuff like that. And I don't really consider myself much of a builder. I've actually put a lot of effort into this stuff, so it's not something that comes really easy, but it's something that I think I could probably give some tips on and things that I've learned, because I've only learned a lot of this stuff more recently. So I think if I do give anything, it might be valuable, I hope. So basically, what I generally do when I start off something like this kind of a project is I like to kind of just mark out my area with these poles over here. And the reason I like to use these poles is it gives the building a little bit of depth when you look at it. So we have a look at those ones there. You can see we build our wall in one away from here. So it just kind of makes the building not look flat. I mean, if we did something like this, you can see it already looks very different and kind of boring when you do that. If you just did something like this, it looks a little bit more interesting, you know? It looks a little bit more depthy. Looks a little bit, I don't know, I think it looks nicer. So the plan for this build today is we're going to be doing this sort of stuff, walking through, getting a little bit more done because I tend to do a lot of jump cuts in what I do. And I think a lot of it I do because it's, to me, just seems like a lot of repetition and stuff like that. But for today, I think we might just do things a little bit differently and do these all together. So, by the way, what I'm doing here is I'm just laying out the walls, and I'm having a look to see whether this will be big enough to put everything we want in it. And not only will it be big enough, but also will it be too big? That's another question which I would like to ask, because a lot of the time you end up doing these things and then you've got too much space to fill up, and I don't want to get that. I don't want it to get too crammed where we've got a one wide thing like that we've got to get through and work with. So that's, I mean, you can't really work with that at all. So this is just what I'm doing here. I'm just laying out these walls a bit. And what I'm thinking is going to happen is we're going to be doing things in here, like we're going to be doing this one level up. So we're going to make a bit of a base and walk up in some stairs to the shop. So that might be an idea. And let's just finish off this wall here. Now, as I say, I mean, I'm not any expert on this, but some advice that I think was really useful to figure out, and it might not be apparent to a lot of people, is a lot of the times when you want your builds to look a little bit nicer, make sure you're doing things in odd numbers. I mean, it seems simple to a lot of people because a lot of people, and it's a thing that I didn't come up with. It's just something. But when you look at this, for instance, I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those ones are actually 7 apart there. But what I've done is I've just gone 5, and then well, with that being 5 there, these will all be odd numbers. So you can kind of get a little bit more done with an odd number than you can with an even number, because you end up making things too symmetrical. They don't look good. I don't know. It just works better. It just works better having odd numbers. So this is what I'm doing here. You can see we've just got a basic kind of layout of this, and we'll get on to adding on little bits and pieces to make this look a little bit nicer. So what we got to think about now is how we're going to get this door up to the shop. And I'm thinking maybe if we had steps going up here, we could maybe do 2 doors like this. We'll do that, and we'll put something there. And we don't have a crafting bench, so I'm going to craft the millionth crafting bench that I've made. And there we go. Put them there. We can just do something like this, a little bit simple, nothing too complicated. And we can have a door here, a door here. They'll both go into the shop, or we can even, you know what we can even do is just put a pressure plate there. So as we walk up, bam, in the shop. And we can have a little area on either side where we can have a Fletcher, and we can do some decorating in here. But that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now is we're just going to continue on with this. Make sure that this looks ready to go. So we're just going to lay a floor out for now, just to work with, so we get our heights right from the beginning. Because this is something I actually forget to do, and then it ends up being completely messed up with the heights. So it's good to kind of get this basic layout done in the beginning. So just do that. And by the way, this doesn't have to stay. This doesn't have to stay. There we go. So that'll be what the inside of the shop looks like. We can get a little bit of a counter there, bit of stock over here, and that should be good. So let's have a look at what this looks like. Yep, that's good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these walls up a little bit higher than what I have done on previous builds. And the reason for that is I want to get above these, first of all. And also, I want it to look a bit more larger in this side. Okay, well, that might be something interesting to check out. We'll check that out. Mistakes sometimes happen, but... Oh, I pressed shift. Okay, well, yeah, the mistake happened. It looks good. We're going to keep it. So let's just do that and put that one up one more and do these ones up there. What is that? 2 above there. And yeah, this is kind of just what I'm going to do for now. So I'm going to add these in. And we also can maybe break up this wall. You can see this wall's looking a little bit funny. We'll fix that bit up there. But what I'll do is I'll just break this up by putting one of these in the middle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Simple. And it kind of just makes the wall look a little bit more interesting. We can put that up a bit more. Now, I'm going to get this filled in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just gone and grabbed up a few things, and I want to quickly show you that I've fixed up this area in here. So we've got everything back to normal. We don't have that notch apple anymore, and I've maybe done a few changes to a few things here, but yeah, glad we are back on a pre-release without funny things like that. A quick other one, well, another thing, is we've got these horses here. This one actually was the best that we got, because there was a little bit of a thunderstorm that happened last episode, actually, where I got 2 of these. So I got one over here which hit this tree. They were actually standing on top of this tree, And the tree didn't burn down, but I'm thinking that's what happened last time, because the time before, they were also standing on top of that tree. And also, we got another one down there. So we managed to get 7 of the horses, 7 of the 8 horses, which is really great, but they all are absolutely terrible. The others, there's probably bound to be another one around here somewhere. But the others are absolutely horrid. They've got next to no health, and they run at... Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what type of a speed to... Well, a snail's pace would be a good one. So, I just want to quickly have a look here, because this episode, I'm trying to just do things a little bit differently, because I've been asked, so I think it'll be a good idea to kind of show things a little bit differently. So, we walk in over this bridge. I think that's looking quite good. What we're going to have to do is do something with the back here, but that's something we won't concern ourselves with too much right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something. Just this, by the way, it's all to do with this type of style that I'm building in. So this isn't a rule or anything I'm doing here. Nothing's a rule. Everything's just kind of stuff that I do, and it might look good to you, it might not look good, but this is just the way I kind of do things. So what I'm going to do is I like to always push my roof out a little bit further to, well, my second level up to a little bit further than what I had the original level kind of taking up space. So this one, we know that, for instance, these over here were taking up 7 wide. So there to there was 7, and that middle was 5. So we're going to push that out 1 more, maybe even 2 more. I'll have to have a look at that. Maybe step back and have a look from here. There we go. Yeah, I think just 1 more will be good. 1 more out there. Yeah, that'll be good. And it'll look kind of similar to that build over there, but I want this to look definitely like it's a shop. So I've brought a few things, and this is something I don't normally do till the end, but I think seeing as what we're doing here is kind of a little bit different today anyways, we'll just do this stuff now. So I'm just adding some things in like this, giving it a try, and seeing how it looks. So there, we're doing those there. Maybe do some over here. And not only will this look be a little bit of a test for how things are looking, it'll also be a way of adding in a bit of structure for us to build on at the top there. So there we go, and there. So these are sort of things to decorate and also create a bit of depth. And another kind of thing that I've found helps a little bit with giving the idea that you've created a bit of depth is doing something like this. So changing up the texture on the block. So we can do, for instance, just try stone blocks, which is actually something I've never tried before. So we'll do some stone blocks, and then we can also put in a bit of cobblestone and just see how this looks. I mean, it's probably going to look absolutely terrible. Yeah, it looks absolutely terrible, but it just does stuff like that. So I'll just clear this off here and have a look. So we can always try out other things. We're going to be placing things on there, doing a bit more of the finer details in the future. But for now, that's unimportant. We'll just replace that there. So we'll do this. There we go. And there we go. So there we go. That's the first bit of our shop. And we'll just add in a few here. So we needed these. We'll make these all even with the ground. And we're going to have to take these in to make it look like this is actually going into the ground. So we'll have to put a oak wood log, or just an oak wood. I still don't know why that's not called logs. Just oak wood. An oak wood. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, there we go. So we'll do that. We'll add in this one over here again. We'll just do one like there, one there, one there, and I'm just on the border of this speed beacon. So yeah, we'll need to jump up. Can I reach it? Yep. There we go, and there we go. So I'll leave the rest for now. We'll do them a bit later, but that's kind of the idea of how I'm going to get this stuff to kind of fit in. Another thing which I was actually thinking about now was, as people walk past this shop, you'd want them to see in. So what I think we'll do is this side here will actually be made into a bit of... Oh, we can't take those out. We'll make this side into a bit of a display case type thing for these fletchers and archers that would be aspiring to get into archery and buy themselves a bow. So maybe we can do a little bit of a display window here. That could be something interesting, and make a little bit of a side on that side. So that's just some ideas that I've got there. I'll cover it up for now because I like to build the box first. So let's head up to the top here. We'll just pillar up a little bit, and we'll get going on this here. So something that is quite useful is doing a bit of a wooden layer over there. I've done a lot of these things where I've done the stone and then a bit of wood. You can see I've kind of got a similar idea. I kind of wish I took that in a little bit, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll learn as we go. So the next thing that I think we will do is maybe add a little bit of a trim to this outer piece here. So we'll do that for now. We'll have to, oh man, we'll have to remove that piece there. So let's jump up again. And yeah, perfect. My scaffolding becomes so terrible by the end of this. So there we go. And this we'll have to put something else in. Maybe we'll just leave it there for now, because I'm not a fan of seeing the ends of those oak pieces or any of the wood at all. So we'll do that. Go around here like this. And what I'm doing here is I'm just, as I say, adding a little bit of a trim to this. And not only adding the trim does it help, but I mean, it also just, I don't know, makes your idea of the build, like, kind of clears up your mind of what the build is going to be looking like at the end, like size-wise and stuff like that. So I think, oh man, how many times am I going to do that? I think it's really important to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this in, and I'm thinking what could be a good idea is actually to do this out one more. Let's quickly do that out one more, just like that. We'll get rid of these. Do that there, that there. Messier scaffolding. So we'll take that out, and we'll do this one more out. So we'll do something like that and there. So taking these out one more like this will be kind of interesting. I didn't think about it till just then, but that could be quite a good idea. So we'll do that. And it's all about trial and error, by the way, guys. So this is kind of the way I end up doing things. I just try out a few things, see how they look, and if they look terrible, I get rid of them. If not, we obviously keep them. So let's do this like that, and we'll see how this looks at the end. So we'll do that. Just for now, we'll clear it up. So there we go, there we go, there we go. And what this, I think, will help with is making sure that you don't get your kind of things that bring out the build, like these pillars that we've done vertically here, making sure that they don't look too flat on the build. So there we go. If we bring that out one, let's have a look from here. Yes, that's definitely an improvement. You see how we're gonna get rid of those, but that's gonna look a lot more kind of out and built. I don't know, the way I want it to look, the way I think it should look. And I'm beginning to wonder whether I should put a second layer on this place or make it a big pitched roof. And I'm thinking the pitched roof is probably a good idea. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'll be back. I'll just clear out that a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to sleep, and then we can carry on. Alright guys, so we've done that little bit of a layout there, and I'm thinking, I'll try to pull this out and do a little bit of a kink there, but I think what we'll do is we'll do something like that, and like that, so that it's a bit more accentuated, brought out a little bit more, like those. There we go, that's something we can work with. It's something that we can kind of improve on as we go. So as I say, there's no real rule with these things. I'm just kind of playing around as I go. We'll do that and do that. Now, by the way, if you guys can let me know if this type of a thing does help you out, me doing a few more building things on the episode. And in fact, this project is going really smoothly. It doesn't normally go this smoothly for me, so don't think that I do this easily all the time. Sometimes it absolutely goes terrible and nothing looks good, nothing tends to work. But this one's going absolutely awesomely. So let me know, guys. Let me know if this is the type of thing you guys enjoy seeing, and I'll make sure to record a bit more of it, because a lot of the time I end up just kind of leaving a lot of it out, just kind of doing this on my own. So I don't know, if it helps, let me know. And this episode will be a little bit longer because of that as well, because I'm kind of letting you guys see what I do, letting you guys know what's happening here, and hopefully someone gets something out of it. I really enjoy when someone gets something out of my videos that I didn't think you would have, so let me know. Now this is just going to keep going around here. I don't remember if we did do one in the middle actually on the last. I might have to add a little bit more to those. Oh no, we did it on those. Perfect. So we just do that. Oh no. Well, something that is really, really useful. We'll go back to this crafting table, which I actually use quite a bit. You might not see it because I don't think about it when I'm actually playing, well, on camera, is using your F key while you're offhand to get everything kind of going. So I just end up using this pickaxe, pickaxe stairs or pickaxe and block thing, and it just comes in so useful when you're building. Everything just goes so much easier just having what you're building with on your offhand and your pickaxe on your normal hand. So when you do mess up like that, it's just quick and easy. Don't have to switch. Just keep going. These guys, like, what am I? Oh, you know what it is. It's these are in the way. That's fine. We'll get rid of these. There we go. And we will just do that and that and that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just finish these off. I'll leave them for now. We've done enough of them for now. We're almost there, but that's fine. What we're going to do next is we're going to go up to the top here and work ourselves out a little bit of a roof. And what I find with the roofs of things, they kind of make or break the thing, you know? They very tough to do, if in my opinion, I find them tough, but they are really rewarding when they do look good. So this will probably be a lot of trial and error with this roof, that's for sure. I'll get a few ideas together, I'll get going, and I'll be right back. So I changed the plan. I think we are going to definitely do a second story. It might not be a functional second story, but it'll be a second story nonetheless. And what I think I'm going to do is I had these beams coming in here originally going up, like that one there. And I tried a few things. I'm not a big fan of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them next to each other. And we'll probably put something in the middle, like some fence gates. Not fence gates, fences, just to break it up. I think that'll be really good because fences work great in corners, that's for sure. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to get this done. It's pretty simple, nothing too complicated. And once we've done that, did I just run into a... No, I didn't. I thought I ran into an invisible block there. Okay, well, yeah, I'm just going to get this all done. By the way, I've put in a little bit of a floor here for the meantime, and we probably will get rid of it. Maybe even if the second story looks good, it might just be windows at the top. We might just leave a big void area at the top with a lot of windows and get rid of that floor. That's actually a pretty good idea. So I'll get going on that, and then we can get going on the roof, because the roof's the big one. That's the big one that makes or breaks the build, and I think we should get started on that. Okay, so now that I've got this little bit in here, I think we're going to get started on the roof, and I've kind of got an idea of what I think we're going to do. It's going to be something similar to what we did over there, where it's actually a very similar build in many ways to what we did do over there. But what we're going to do is just a very simple, really, a very simple roof. We're just going to do things like the normal pitch, so we're not going to pull it off with any weird kind of bulgy bits or anything like that. Just nice and easy, straight up like this. We'll do the same to that side there. We'll meet in the middle. And in the middle, I'm yet to see what we're going to do. So we're just kind of pulling it off each of these beams, which brings the beams into the build and also brings the actual roof into the build. Now, when we've got this odd number, which I prefer having an odd number in the middle here, when it comes to 2, it just kind of looks a little bit funny. I think we might, yeah, we've got that problem over there where we brought it to an even number, and it didn't work out quite as well as I wanted it to. So what I do is I put the stair like that, so if you can see the stair that I've just done over there, placed it in like that, and I think that looks really good because it creates a little bit of a dent in there, which makes, I don't know, it just looks nice. That's what I do. So what I'm gonna do here, you serious? That is horrible. That is terrible. That's one of the worst places I could have fallen down. So we'll just do that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go across on this one here. And because this is also pretty much, I'm pretty sure this is the same distance. We'll check. That's 1, 2, 3, what is that? From there, 6, 7, I think that's, what? Yeah, 7. It's the same. It's the same. So what we'll do is we'll just do something like that, 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 that. And creating this little trim on your roof is actually a really important part, I think, of getting your roof to look good. It's very different when you do get your roof working for you. So, by the way, what I'm doing there is, because this one is shared with that one there, they're going to be shared, so we're going to have this middle piece being the kind of, I don't know if nub is the word, but that's the word I'm going to use for these two here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to carry on here and pull that up there. So that's the same as that one there. This one here as well. We're going to pull this here, there, and there, and then we'll also put the middle piece like what we did before. Oh man, I'm really not having too much luck with these today. So we'll go up here again and start around here. So there, 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 and there. So that's beautiful. Now, these are going to look exactly the same here. We're going to do the same thing over there and there as what we've just done there. But one thing which might be kind of interesting is this bit over here, because if you have a look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are 5 and 5, which might be a bit of a weird thing. And we've had that issue over there actually with the door and stuff like that. So this will be a little bit of trying a few things out, and I want to get that to look good. So I'll quickly just tell you what's going to happen now. We're going to do this one out of the stone brick stairs to give us a bit of a go, because I've done a lot of wooden houses. And I like the look of the wooden roofs, but I want to try out the stone brick stairs just because it's a bit of a change. And if we don't like it, we can always get rid of it. So this is, again, just me trying out a few things, seeing how they work. If they don't work, they don't have to stay. We can get rid of them. They're not actually that big of a deal to get rid of. It's sometimes you kind of do things just because you don't want to, you just want to get the job over and done with. But I think when you want it to look good, you'll put in the time. You'll get it get it looking a bit better. So there we go. And for the inside ones, I'm not going to do them just yet because these might come a little bit weird. They kind of dip in and go back, which is something similar to there as well. I'll get the rest of this in and I'll... Alright guys, so we are back here and I'm just kind of troubleshooting a few things with this roof. It's not 100%. I've just tried pulling this out one more and seeing how this looks. So I've kind of gone through majority of it. It's kind of a weird thing to record. I think it's a bit better just to kind of have a look at what's going on and how I'm doing it. So what happened is, you can see this looks really weird there. I think that'll be alright, but on that side there, it's really flat. And I've pulled the roof out a little bit, and I'm going to pull these out and connect it up to that one there as well. So the roof will be really big and look really good. I've also switched out that to a bit of spruce, which I think looks really great. And on the front of the roof, I've already started to just kind of, as I was up there, I thought I'd just put a little bit of detailing in. And I kind of like the way this is going. So I'm going to do this. What I've done is, over there, that's a full block. And over there, those are just the stairs. So they've kind of just taken the place of where this roof was before. I think it's going to come out quite good, in fact. What we're going to do is we're going to have to put in windows and stuff. But for now, this is looking alright. So I'm just going to get in the last little bits of this. Being there, try out those. That'll be an interesting one. And on the other side will be pretty damn simple over here. So I think it's actually looking pretty good. Let's just quickly take a step back and have a look at what it looks like and what it feels like walking around here with it. So coming around here, that looks good. It's looking good as we come over. In fact, I kind of like it a little bit more as we're coming over here. And it's just a matter of adding a few of the finer details. We're just kind of getting the main thing left out here. And another idea which I've got is to leave out a little pole with an item frame on it. Kind of show, like, you know how you've always got those shops. Kind of like the way this is hanging out with what the shop sells. So we can maybe put like an enchanted bow or something on that. That'll be kind of nice to see. But that'll be done when we add in the finer details. So I'll get going on this roof. Alrighty, so I have finished off the roof. It's actually taken quite some time, but as I say, the roof I expected to take a long time, and I'm actually quite happy with the way it's turned out. Look at that. It's a little bit different to the rest of the city, but I don't want everything to look exactly the same. I want things to kind of carry through, sort of certain bits to carry through to the different buildings, but also certain things to look a little bit different, really distinguish the buildings from each other. So have a look at that. I think that looks really cool. It's really interesting with this little thing I've done in the front. Man, these sunflowers, yeah, I'm really liking the way that's turned out. I'm also really liking how this is kind of narrow, and it feels really nice walking through here, like just walking through here like this. That feels really awesome. Let's have a look from this side as well. Yeah, that's great. That's really great. We still are going to have to put in a few more windows and a few other things, smaller details on the outside. This is really just the box. This is kind of the way I do things normally when I build. I build the box. I'm sure most people do this. Build like the basic things and add a little bit by little bit by little bit. Let's have a look from here. Yeah, that works really well. That really kind of ties in the city, makes it a bit more bulky, a bit more bigger on that side there. That's awesome. So what I think I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to get going, thinking on a few more ideas with that. Let me know about this episode, guys, because it's a bit different for me to do things like this. So let me know if anything's helped you, or let me know if you enjoy me kind of doing these ones where I try and give you some advice or tips on how to build certain things. I mean, whatever I can. As I say, I don't really regard myself too highly with that, but I'm sure I could give you some sort of advice, and I'm learning, and I'll give you guys whatever things I learn as I go. So if you guys could do me a favor and let me know about that. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.